and each one is like another production. I have my favorite musicians that I call first, and if they're available, I'm lucky. It's really tough when I get a job a week before the event, and it's on a Saturday night. All the best musicians are usually, and hardly any of them, anywhere, can play a saxophone and a violin, and read the arrangement. Not just play the instrument, but read notes the first time they see it, at any pace. I can count it off, you know, slowly or fast, and they'll be right on top of the melody. I really admire them. I don't know how they do it, but I really appreciate them, and it's very, I love my job, finding these old orchestrations that people threw away, usually, and some of them are very hard to find. Sometimes I just have a few pieces, you know, the third saxophone and the drum part. You can't do much with that, but if you find the first saxophone and the first trumpet, and you have the piano part, you can actually play that arrangement. You can figure out the, you know, and they had wonderful arrangers in those days in New York, writing out dance band orchestrations and concert orchestrations for all the new songs, and that was a tradition that started before radio because, and before records. The only way to make a song popular was to get it into the hands of band leaders and performers who were on the vaudeville circuit, and suddenly it just was a big boom when commercial radio came on, and we had these wonderful music, and then we had a union in 1943, I think. The musicians union went on strike, and that was the end of it. And then record companies learned that they could sell records without a full orchestra, and then rock and roll came along, a guitar and a bass, and a drummer. They can sell records, and people forgot how to dance. Also, a lot of the blame is on the dance band leaders who wanted to be taken more seriously. They decided they wanted to be concert bands and play, you know, in concert halls, and so they stopped providing dance music. But in 1965 or thereabouts, they asked Guy Lombardo why all the other big bands were pretty much gone, and his is the only one from that period still going. And he said it was because he never stopped playing dance music.
If you ever get a chance to see him and his orchestra, to see Johnny, it's a real gift. So if he's ever playing here, please go see him, because he comes out in full regalia, and his orchestra is great, just like he said. I'm very serious. I've seen him. Sherry's seen him. He puts on a great show. So if you ever get a chance to see his orchestra, please see him.
Do you have any time for questions?
No, 10 to 15 minutes at most.
Okay. You have a question?
Yeah. I have copies of my CD here, and they're for sale. Not really a question.
Yeah, a statement.
Statement. Okay.
That's fine. All right. So does anybody have a question out there that you'd like to ask? You have Thomas in the back?
Did you all ever have a chance to go visit the Disney house in Holby Hills? What was that like?
Can you repeat?
Did you ever get to go to Walt's house in Holby Hills up at Carrollwood?
I did not personally. No.
Like any of us haven't
You didn't get to ride Walt's train or anything?
No, I don't think any of us went. Maybe Annie went, maybe Annette went at some time because they were so close, but I don't think any of us did.
I have his train. Backyard.
That was when you were released.
After your contract.
He gave you that.
Don't get him upset again.
Oh,
yeah.
To console me.
Any other questions from anyone?
Jim?
Okay, you probably get asked the same questions over and over, so I wanted to ask one that maybe you don't always get asked. On the original Mickey Mouse Club, there were 3 adults. There was Jimmy Dodd and there was Roy Williams, but there was also Bob Amsbury that nobody talks about. And what was he like personally and to work with? And of course, Johnny can talk about how devastated he was that he only worked 1 season with Bob. But what was Bob like as a performer? How did he interact with you as kids? All of that? Because nobody ever talks about Bob or why he disappeared.
On one of the clips that you saw earlier, I come out singing out of the How Do You Do?
Mm-hmm.
That's Bob Amsbury. And Bob was our character actor on the show. He was great. Tragically, he was killed in an automobile accident the first year of the show.
He was also a writer.
Yeah, he was a writer and also just
I think it was the second year because I worked with him.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it had to be the second
Sure,
year.
make me sound like a fool.
You can do
She
that
always
without
does this to me. No, Bob was the character. Bob was the real character. He'd come out in mustaches. He'd come out in all kinds of character makeup.
Take a comedy relief.
He was great. He was great. He was again like a big brother too to all of us. I got to do some things with him, just like the song I did with him. But he was a great sport, and he was in on all the jokes. Sometimes people would play jokes on us because we were great foils ourselves as kids. We were very humble. Well, you were.
Do you have the clip where he's the grenadier, or whatever you call it, and watching the...
I have just about, when I put these clips together in my spare time just before coming here, and I went through about 10 hours of tapes where I fast forward and everything. I have tapes from almost every show that were taken really off the TV in the reruns. So I'm not using any copyright like I got on Disney.
Thank you.
But that's why they're so grainy, because they're like 2nd generation or 3rd generation. They're still there. And I saw a lot of things that Bob Amsbury did, which I'm going to put together. I'm hoping after doing this, I'm going to put a lot more things together of all the kids. Because we're hoping to do a tour again with all of us one of these days. Yeah, it is Bob. Who's the handsome guy?
I don't know where, pal. Old buddy Putter there, pal. Howdy do. What's in Chicago or in old St. Louis? It was 2 other guys. I don't know you. Well, howdy do.
Didn't Bob Amsbury write some of the music, like the Goofy Shuffle?
I don't remember that, but probably so. He was in on everything.
Okay.
He was very involved.
And very
creative. He was creative. He was in on the writing. And of course, we weren't privy to a lot of this. That who was doing what back then. We just knew we were kids having a great time. And Jimmy and Roy was very involved with a lot of things we did too. Trying to
He
see.
designed the year.
Yeah, he designed a lot of things, and he was the fastest artist we would ever see. He could draw so fast. You put a little circle on a piece of paper, and before you know it, the big character within 30 seconds. It was done. He was sort of our dirty old man. And I mean this very graciously and very lovingly. He always kid the girls. I think the only reason he had all the pool parties because he wanted to see all our girls in bathing suits. And we used to tease him. He loved us. We loved him. He would tell a joke every now and again with maybe a little risque, but we all just we were fascinated.
Do you remember when he brought his new car to the studio to show it to us? It had push-button windows and all the latest stuff. He was very...
And all the adults, Jimmy, and they just were in their own way, were just wonderful to be with.
I remember when we were in the commissary, we would have these paper placemats, and they were kind of scalloped around the edges. And Roy would come along behind us and just lean down while we're eating our lunch, and he'd doodle, and he'd draw pictures. And I was going through a big box the other day, and I found some of them. And they were such treasures. Those won't go on eBay.
Years later, I was a staff makeup artist at NBC, and Roy was doing something with some show, was working there. I ran into him after, I hadn't seen him in a lot of years. And then he passed away a few years after that. So I didn't get to see him really that much in his later years.
If you do put any of this into eBay, please call me first.
I will.
Okay, yeah. Any other questions? Arlen?
Kids are kids on shows. What kind of practical jokes did you play on each other? I am sure there had to be a few.
There were a few, but we were so busy. I mean, we were really busy. We were busy every minute of the day. We had fun. I mean, we did play jokes on each other. Nothing really comes to mind. There was nothing any really terrible.
We were pretty dignified, actually.
Anything else?
Anything else? Any other questions? How much time do you have?
You can wrap it up.
Okay.
But I would like the Mouseketters to stay there.
Stay there.
We can stay there. I just got to say, it's wonderful. I think all of us feel the same. It's wonderful to see all of you and to see the enthusiasm for the Disney magic, because we all have it. We've lived it. And it's nice to see all of you just live that magic.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you all very much, and Alex, very good. Let's call Alan, our Legends Chair, up for a moment. Alan would like to present something to our Mouseketters.
Well, good evening, everyone. It's my true privilege to be here representing the board of the national organization. For those of you who've been to California to our conventions, you know that we have a very special opportunity each year where we have afternoons and evenings just like this, where we get to talk with people who created the things that we love so much and that have contributed so greatly to the Disney legacy. And it's my job at the moment to be the steward of our Legends program, and to date, since we've been doing this about 26 years now, we've honored more than 100 individuals from all facets of the Disney organization, not only theme park operations and actors and voice talent, but Imagineers and animators and even corporate executives and so on, all of whom have really created and sustained the legacy that Walt Disney first created. So it's my privilege tonight to be here on behalf of the board to honor 4 people who I'm sure you will agree could not possibly deserve this recognition more, our newest Disneyland Fan Club Legends. So Doreen, let's start with you.
I'm all hooked up.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Johnny, your contract may not have been renewed.
Thank you so much. That's beautiful.
Tommy, you're up. Last, but certainly not least, Sherry.
Sherry.
Oh, thank you all so much.
China Cat.
Most of you probably know that Don Grady had originally planned to be with us this evening and be part of the celebration of the Mouseketters, and unfortunately that didn't happen. But we do have an award for Don as well that we'll be giving to his family.
Great.
And wanted all of you to know that he was intending to be here and be part of all of this.
He, quite frankly, he's still with us.
Thank you all very much and congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well deserved. Alan, thank you very much. And thank you for everything all throughout the year. Appreciate it. Okay, so the next portion of our evening, we have our Mouseketters go back to their seats. We're going to do our live auction, and then after the live auction, we're going to have our autograph